Hi, and welcome to setld's TOTEMM Power BI tutorial. Today we'll be looking at the main tab. This tab is a general tab including all records to provide users with an overall understanding of basic data clusters and use cases to be expanded on in the coming tabs. The first user story we're going to be looking at is how many records do we have for Shell. Start by selecting Shell from the organization chart. Review various record count odometers, starting with the total record count, last 180 days count, and see the record count per info type group. You can also hold Control and select the 180 days counter to see recent records. Just hold Control again and select the counter again to go back. To further your query, you can also select a topic, and there are trending topic slicer. And click this eraser button to remove your filter. To match our compilation of news, financials, and other metrics interpreted from investor presentations, etc., you would have to find and sort through thousands of documents across hundreds of sources, likely for only one area of interest. What happens when you finish your week-long compilation and you're now interested in another organization, area, or topic? Our next user story is, how many renewables records do we have for Shell? Start by selecting Shell from the organization chart. Click the Renewables Industry Theme button. Review the super region chart, sub-region chart, and map to see areas that are mostly involved with renewables. You can review the main table as well to see the areas and associated records. The next user story is, what kind of agreements has Shell made recently? You can start by clicking the Agreements Info Type button. Select Shell from the organization chart. Hold Control and select the last 180 days counter. Now review the info types chart for agreements, info types, and record counts. Review the info type group odometers to learn that out of 204 agreements, 19 of these are ESG Plus related. Hold Control and select the number below the ESG Plus button. But now you are looking at the 19 ESG Plus related agreements made by Shell. You can further export the main table and review these agreements records related to ESG+. For a targeted breakdown of agreements records, you can also click the Go to Agreements arrow to go to the Agreements tab. The next user story is, what organizations have interest in the Permian? Start by searching Permian in the super/subregion slicer. Hold Control and select all Permian subregions. And now the organization chart lists all organizations with their record counts. This search can be further narrowed by clicking a filter button down here or using the organization type slicer. Export the list of organizations and their record counts directly from the organization chart. Now you may find basic compilations of top 10 Permian oil and gas companies based on a singular metric, but our design allows our users to generate one of hundreds of top 10 lists for any region, industry, or metric within seconds. Our last user story is what sources make up our Tesla record collection. Note the source table detailing settled interpreted records and various side loads. Select Tesla from the organization chart. Note the change in the source table, showing that the majority of Tesla's records are sourced from two separate EV charging sideloads. Isolate sets by holding Control and selecting the row, or expand the row to show info type groups. See the map for record distribution, and review the main table.